Welcome to the Tech Ranch, live and local here on Super Talk 1270. The latest gadgets, online security, websites and apps, social media, and so much more. How can technology help you? Let's find out. It's time for the Tech Ranch on Super Talk 1270.
From our studios in beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, along the mighty Missouri River, here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
Well, Mr. Jim, I am back.
You certainly are.
It's been a month.
Oh, it sure seems like it, yeah.
It has been forever since I've been in this studio.
Have you lost weight? You look good.
Well, thank you very much.
Hey, you're quite welcome.
I've been jogging through the warm climates, I guess. So.
Yeah, in Vegas, baby.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Now, last week, though, you were in Mandan.
I was in Mandan, yep.
Baby.
We did the show up at the Tech Day, so that was kind of fun. But
and the week before, Katie was here.
Katie was here, so I want to throw out kudos to her for being part of the thing. Yeah, she'll be back on today, so that'll be good, too.
That's Miss Metaverse to you.
Yes, I will have to honor that respect to her. So, yeah, lots of great CES stuff. And by the way, I have a gift for you.
Well, thank you. From Vegas?
From Vegas. I'm going to hand this over. This is probably the most coveted thing at CES.
It is.
It is.
The bag.
It is actually the CES bag.
I will use this tonight. I go to school tonight.
Okay.
I have my Monday night statistics class at Mary.
Okay.
And I will use this. I'll put on my book. I'll make this my book bag.
Sure. Yeah. It's actually it's a backpack and.
No, you're handing me the backpack. I'm thinking, gee, what's in there?
Yeah.
Oh, it is the backpack.
It's the backpack itself. You actually get the official CES backpack. So. Those are actually very coveted. There's probably about 5,000 people that get those.
Excellent.
And it's amazing as we were wandering through the show. People come up to you all the time, and they're like, where do I get one of those? So
next year, see if you can get your hands on a few of them. We'll give them away.
I will do that. Yeah. I will do that. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. So lots of cool stuff we'll be talking about today from CES, of course. And I got a couple websites I got to catch up on because I usually do a website review, and we'll start off with Freedom 800 and freedom800.com. So I'm assuming you've used an 800 number in the past, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And
sure,
they're probably not as big a deal now as they used to be, but there's a lot of businesses that still need them.
A lot of radio stations use them.
Absolutely.
As their call-in number.
Absolutely. And, the other thing that I think a lot about, and Freedom 800 is that. You go to freedom800.com. You can get a virtual 800 number. So you don't have to order it through your phone company or whatever. You just go there. They have plans that start at literally just $10 a month. I mean, it's a very, very reasonable thing. So you can go there and get one. And that's kind of what I like about it. You can just, within minutes, literally go online, order an 800 number, and you have it.
Quickly now.
Yep. And so that's pretty cool. And I started thinking about, that maybe not a lot of companies use these or whatever, but it'd be cool to have your own 800 number too. I mean, you think about it, you got kids going to college or whatever, instead of them racking up minutes on their cell phones or whatever.
People really need them anymore, though. With the cell phone accounts, a lot of them, they don't really charge you for long distance calls. Right.
But there's a lot of people that still have landlines, and maybe, if you're, I'm thinking like in a dorm situation, whatever, maybe they got a phone around or whatever, you can hop on the phone and call your parents on their 800 number or whatever. So there's a lot of uses for 800 numbers yet. So, if you need an 800 number, they have a great website. I'd certainly go check them out, freedom800.com. Pretty cool deal. One of the things that I've seen at CES. Well, in fact, I have products here, Jim.
Oh.
So.
Stuff.
Yes, stuff. This would be the time that we need video today. So this was pretty cool. So as you look at that, why don't you explain what you see?
It looks like a black wristband with a red cross on it.
Okay.
It looks like a watch band almost.
Okay. So what would you think it would be used for?
Maybe some emergency information is inside.
Very good. It's like a medic alert.
Yeah, it looks like a medic alert thing.
Yeah, but those medic alerts that you usually have, I think don't they engrave on the backside, like if you're diabetic or whatever your issue is?
If you're allergic to penicillin or something.
Right. Well, this is actually a jump drive.
Oh.
So you can put all of your medical stuff on here.
Yes.
And, if you're ever in an emergency situation or whatever, they can just take this off of your wrist, plug it into their computer, and they see what's going on with you if you have a heart issue or whatever you got going on. So I thought that was actually pretty clever.
Well, a lot of medical a lot of the doctors we go to now who are tied, especially if they're tied in with something like Sanford or whoever.
Right.
They have all your information online anyway. There's a database
Right.
for all your health information.
Right. But if you're maybe away from your primary care person or whatever, this is kind of clever, I thought. It's waterproof, it's USB, actually somewhat fashionable. So, if you need something like that, it's called PIC ID, PICID, so USB Emergency ID.
I like that.
It's pretty cool. And this is a product that we talk about a lot on this program in this little white envelope. Remember the name?
Tracker.
So that's what a tracker looks like.
It looks like a button.
And you put this on anything, it's a GPS tracker.
Okay. Oh.
So you put this on your bike, you put this on your whatever. I mean, your suitcase, on your
pet.
Yeah, whatever.
What do you do? Put on the collar?
Yeah, you could.
Okay.
Yep. And then you just have your device or your computer, and you can track this wherever it's at in the world.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And it's the size of a button.
Yeah.
So
put it in your wallet, if you lose your wallet.
You could, yeah. There's a lot of things that you could use. That's the whole point of it, is that it's small enough to put wherever you want to. And they sell these singly like this. I think one of them is like $29. But they have like a 5-pack and a 10-pack or whatever, too. And they actually, and the price is coming down.
And it's very small. It fits right in your hand.
It is, yeah. So that's pretty cool. I thought that when I seen that and they handed one off to me, I thought we would talk a little bit, because we do talk about this a lot and tracking stuff all the time. So the next one I have here is another 911 thing, but not quite the same as what we were just talking about.
911 Boost. I'm not sure how to describe this. Recharging USB. It looks like it has... I don't know. How would you describe that?
It's interesting to describe.
It's a thingy.
It actually is a key tag. I mean, it's a little larger than a regular key tag, of course.
It's about the size of a matchbook.
Right.
And it's got a thing at one end to hang onto your, I guess, your key.
Right,
key
exactly.
Hook there.
It's a recharging device for your phone.
Okay.
No cables. The four things you see.
No cables.
Yeah. Well, the things that you see on the ends. Okay.
Yeah, the little things.
They're little micro USBs or whatever.
Thingies.
You would plug your phone directly into it. So that's how that works. And
always be in charge is what it says.
Yep. So it's something that, it would be maybe a little too large to throw in your pocket to have it there all the time.
Yeah.
But, to have it in your car or something like that if you need an emergency.
Yeah, stick it in your glove box.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
There if you need it.
Exactly.
Little ports then around the sides of it.
And if you're, a perfect example was when we're at CES, my phone ran out of juice quite often. In fact, there was a couple days you and I could not communicate because I was out of power. And this would have been a nice thing to have. I actually had some backup too, but unfortunately the backup was used up as well. So
the backup needed backup.
Exactly. All right, everybody, after the break, Dr. Gary Lynn, chairman of Linovate.com, will be joining us to talk about what was hot over the holidays. So come on back.
Currently, it's 41.
Get the traffic and weather information you need anytime on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
Follow the Guru of Geek at Facebook.com/The Tech Ranch or Twitter at Guru of Geek or TheTechRanch.com. Here again is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we want to thank everybody who listens to us across the country and around the world on the Blueberry Network, on the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Of course, we're on Tuned In, on the Roku, on iTunes, and, of course, our own app, Radio Pup, all over the place. And, Jim, you handed me this thing right before the show.
Yeah. Oh, the story about the White House.
Yeah. So do you know about it? Or
I know there was a story.
Okay.
In the White House, reporting from the White House, while Michelle and I were on vacationing in India, there was a report of a drone. I'm working on it, but
that's pretty good, actually.
Thank you.
I like that.
He's got that kind of quality to his voice.
Exactly. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what happened. I mean, there's a drone.
What I
that
heard
came
was
across
there was a drone that actually flew in over White House property.
Okay.
Which is definitely a major, big time no-no.
Big time.
In fact, they're illegal in all of D.C. You can't have a privately owned operating drone flying anywhere around the district.
So did they actually take the drone out of the sky, or what did they do with this thing?
I'm not sure. I don't think they used cannons or anything like that. That would have been funny. They roll up the big cannons. Woo, yeah.
Well, they have. We've talked about it a couple times. They have this laser technology now that you can use to shoot.
Oh yeah,
down
they can shoot it right down.
drones. And I would think that the White House would be the very first place they would implement this.
One would think that, wouldn't one?
Because this drone actually crashed on the White House lawn.
Oh, lovely.
So there you go. I mean, that's interesting.
Now, I'm not making a joke here. This is actually quite serious. What if the damn thing had a bomb attached to it?
Well, that's the problem
That's
with
the
this
problem.
thing.
Yeah.
You can fly these things, and a person can do this stuff pretty much anonymously.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to have these anti-drone type of defenses around the perimeter of these type of places.
I mean, let's take it one step further, and please, I'm not trying to make light of this. I'm totally serious. Let somebody get a hold of a backpack nuke, put it on one of these things, fly it in, land on the White House lawn.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yep. And that's why it's so important that we have these anti-defense things in place. And that's why, I pick on, large public events and that type of thing as well.
Sure.
And that's why, you can actually, the next big thing will be when you have these events that they'll declare those areas, no drone.
No drone zone.
Yeah, exactly.
The no drone zone.
And they will have stuff around the perimeter that will shoot drones down if they come in.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what will
The
happen.
next step would be to develop a force field. I'm sure they're working on it.
Yeah, that would be the next step,
Like
I
a
guess.
Star Trek kind of force field where you fly into it, you get zapped like a bug zapper.
I guess nothing surprises me anymore.
Not anymore.
Where we're going with technology, that's for sure. So
it's the continual battle, the better mousetrap versus the bad guys making the better mouse.
Right. And I guess there was some report, somebody just called me, Mr. Peterson, out of Minot, and he was talking that the ag department now is coming out in favor of using drones for agricultural use.
Yes.
So
well, they could take the place of crop dusters.
There's a lot of things.
They couldn't.
A lot of things they can do. So I guess they had a list of 5 different things that they can use. So
and you were saying they can look down. You can study you can examine your crops, get right down.
Absolutely.
A few inches above and see how they do.
Yep. See how if there's insects in there.
Yeah.
That's exactly right, and actually see them. So very, very big deal there. And of course, there were a ton of drones at CES, and in fact, at any given time, there was.
Were they buzzing around you? As
they
were
were
walking through the hallways.
Not so much inside. There's a few that were buzzing around inside. They had kind of nets up that they could fly them in and that type of thing. But outside, there was, I would bet at any given time you could see 2 or 3 drones flying above the event.
Well, the hockey games right here in town with the Bobcats, they have that blimp kind of thing. It's like a drone that flies around and drops gift certificates and prizes from people.
T-shirts. I see you chasing the thing all the time trying to tackle it.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Trying to get a T-shirt or something.
But, yeah, that's... really not a lot of difference there. And in fact, some of the drones that you see, they're called arrows, like what you're talking about,
right.
AEROS, the floating kind, basically floating balloons that have technology on them. And you're going to start seeing drones that in that realm as well, simply because they stay up in the air a lot longer.
Yeah.
Because you don't, the problem with a regular drone is that they only can fly for 10 or 20 minutes. And I guess that's probably a good thing too. I mean, what we were just talking about,
you're saying.
Right? But if you need to inspect a pipeline or inspect your crop or whatever, the ability to have that vehicle in the air a little bit longer is good. And an arrows like that, where it's floating, you don't have to put so much energy into keeping it up in the air. Yeah. It's just a matter of maneuvering around. So.
And law enforcement, I mean, they can turn it around. They can use it to see what the bad guys are doing.
They had a couple examples down there as well with law enforcement. One device in particular that's interesting is a drone that will, disable vehicles. So, so there's no need for a high-speed chase anymore.
Yeah.
The vehicle can, drive as slow or as fast as they want to. The drone's going to get you anyway.
How do they do that? How do they do it?
It's almost like a taser. And do you like my sound effect?
Maybe like a little EMP that kind of
It actually
shorts out the circuitry.
That's exactly what it does. It shorts it out. Yeah. So it fires this little taser type of thing and shorts the car out, and it's done.
Gotcha.
So yeah, a lot of cool things with it, and it's certainly life-saving technology. The defibrillator that's attached to one. I think we talked about that a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And instead of because if a person's having a heart attack or whatever. And there's usually people around if that's happening. The time it takes to get an ambulance there or whatever, can sometimes be, take a little bit. Hospitals now are looking at ways that they can use drones to dispatch a defibrillator.
Yeah.
And then there's a screen on this device that you'll be talking to the hospital. So the defibrillator will show up on this drone, and you zap the person. And
land on the guy. Clear. Zap.
That would be interesting, actually. Yeah. So, that's there's a lot of cool things that I think you're going to start seeing with drones. So, in that realm,
I mean, the good guys and the bad guys. I'm sure there's all kinds of possibilities.
Well, you take a look at nuclear, and we all think about the bomb, but yet most of the world's electrical supply is powered by nuclear plants.
That's right.
And look at all the good that's done. So there's always good and bad with this stuff.
Exactly. Technology is a tool.
It is. Yep, like anything else. I mean, I'm sure this Diet Coke that I'm sitting here drinking right now, caffeine-free, by the way. I gave up the caffeine, by the way.
So what's the point? I mean, there's no sugar, there's no caffeine.
Yeah, I know. It's all for the... Yeah, that's right. I could just well be drinking water, right? But I'm sure that there's probably diabolical uses with this bottle.
I'm sure.
Throw a couple Mentos in there and see what happens.
That'd be an interesting exercise for the think tanks to come up with, ways that people could use these really mundane. I'm sure they're doing it.
Sure, I'm sure.
Like here, take a Coke bottle and figure out something a terrorist could do with this to hurt people.
Exactly. I mean, and there are. I mean, you could
because sooner or later they'll figure it out on their own.
There are plenty of things around here that are always good, bad for you, but that's always the big deal. So so I talked to a company called HP has a product called Sprout, and I'm handing Jim the business card here. They actually just use a butterfly.
This business card shaped like a butterfly.
Exactly. So this was really cool. They have this kind of projector over top of the computer. Okay, and then underneath it, it's kind of like this big mouse pad is the best way I can describe it. Okay. And then it's like a touch screen. So this thing projects down. So let's say you have a child that likes to color a lot.
Sure.
You could bring on a coloring page, and then you could scribble on this thing or whatever, and it just shows up on the screen just like you're coloring something. And then if you wanted to print it out, you could do that. If you want to scan something, you just lay the piece of paper down on this. There's no scanning device or whatever. It just takes a picture of it, and it goes right into your document or whatever. So it's called Sprout, and it's a very, very cool thing that I think you'll start seeing show up at all kinds of stores in the near future. About $1,000 for the computer with the Sprout technology.
That'll go down.
Yeah, it will go down. Now, of course, I find this fun. I stopped by the Tableau booth, and we talk about these guys a lot on here. I'm handing Jim the car right now. And it's funny, Jim, you don't think anybody listens to us, right? The first thing they came up to me and they said, "You're the guru of geek," and it's Tableau, not Tableau.
Oh.
So I thought
it's Tablo.
That's right, Tableau. So we had a lot of fun with that, of course. But if you're looking for a way to cut the cable to your television, Tableau does that for you. I'm dropping stuff all over the place here.
It's like Christmas morning here with all the stuff laid out here.
And you can actually just hook up an HD antenna to the Tableau and get all your local channels through that one device, and then it shares it through Wi-Fi throughout your entire house. It's just the coolest thing.
Oh, yeah.
And records your programming, whatever, and it's just ultra clear HD television. Absolutely love the Tableau. So you got to go check them out as well, and I hope they're listening so they hear me actually pronouncing the name of their company correctly. Tableau, Tablo. So after the break, everybody, Miss Metaverse, Kate Aquino, will be joining us for our continuing conversation on CES. So come on back.
Currently, it's 41.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at supertalk1270.com. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And on the phone with us, calling in from, I'm guessing, a very blustery New York area, Miss Metaverse, Kate Aquino. How you doing, Miss Metaverse?
I'm doing well. How are you, Marlo?
Doing fine as well. So what is the weather like over there today?
Oh, the weather is awful. I'm losing my voice. Oh, my goodness. We're getting a huge, huge blizzard, and it's starting right now.
Wow. Yeah, I heard 70, 80 mile an hour winds, up to 2
you
feet of
guys
snow.
are supposed to be right on the cusp of the really heavy stuff.
Yes, we're supposed to get the snowpocalypse is coming, so everyone's prepared, and Kmart and all the big stores were all totally packed up with people yesterday, and it was very interesting. It was like a anthropological study going on.
Yeah.
You call it the snowpocalypse?
The snowpocalypse. There's all kinds of different names going on Twitter right now. I think there's different. It's pretty funny.
This time tomorrow in New York, the only thing open will be the hospitals and the adult bookstores. Because, priorities.
Exactly.
I'm speaking from experience, the last time I went through a hurricane in New York.
Funny. So what kind of technology does a large metropolitan area like New York and the surrounding community use during a time like this, Kate?
Well, that's the thing is, unfortunately, without saying anything bad about my beloved state here, we're definitely a little bit behind. I mean, I have family in Canada, and the difference is it's huge. They're so prepared over in Toronto. It's incredible. They get snow all the time. And while here we don't get too much snow, I'd say that you probably have more snow than we have. Although when we do have snow, like today, we get giant snowstorms, and we get hit pretty hard. But the problem is the infrastructure here, really. We're a little bit behind. And there's no really exciting tech, I would say, that I could speak about yet. But hopefully, who knows? I mean, there's a lot of great innovation happening when it comes to snow removal and things like that, like we were talking about on a previous show. So hopefully that will happen soon.
Well, I know that, speaking of that, did look at some autonomous vehicles that have snow removal built into them. So it wouldn't surprise me in the near future that cities such as New York start utilizing those technologies.
Self-driving snow plows.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I think that's great. That'll cut down on costs. And also we're seeing a lot of new materials as well. So maybe we'll develop some new kind of super fast melting salt that we could use as well.
Well, or maybe something, they talk about the solar roadways, of course, where the road's always warm. So it would just automatically melt the snow when it hit it.
I was going to say a big giant heat lamp over the middle of the city.
It really is interesting when I think about it. And I think about this problem a lot, you guys, about why is it that in the age that we live in that we haven't figured out a way, we still literally, with plows and with scoop shovels and everything else, we pick up the snow, put it in dump trucks, and move it out of the way. Why is it that we haven't figured out a way that we can melt this stuff, that off the streets and things? It's just interesting to me.
Well, of course, if there's too much and you melt it too quickly, then you've got the other issue.
That is true, but I think
as we know all too well in this town.
Right, but if you had just something that melted the sidewalks and the streets, the rest of it you don't worry about so much, but just the travel channels, I think it would be okay. I don't know. We need to work on that, Kate.
I'm very much a fan of solar roadways. I'm glad that you brought that up because for those who haven't heard about solar roadways, there was a really successful crowdfunding campaign last year. And Solar Roadways is a company that raised over $2 million to essentially replace our regular pavement roads and our highways and our streets, all with solar panels that they will create energy, they'll store energy, and they could also have multiple uses like lighting up the streets and create patterns, and we could actually have signs in the streets. And another benefit would also be warming up the roads so we could prevent having snow accumulations and whatnot. So that'd be great.
Yeah, it is kind of cool, and their claim is that if every road in the country was actually a solar roadway, we would actually be able to do away with all power addition or other power generation, fossil fuels, that type of thing, because there would be that much power generated from the roadways.
I think in the next 20 years, we're going to have so much energy, we're not even going to know what to do with it. I think that's where we're headed. We're just going to have a huge time of abundance, and I think it's really exciting.
So what do you think is going to be the primary, right now I think, is our primary thing in the country, Jim, is it coal yet? Is that the number one way that we produce electricity? Or
coal?
Or is
I
that...
believe it is. Don't hold me to that. But I think, it's still coal.
Okay.
I'm reasonably sure of that.
Yeah, I know that there's always been this pushback in this country about nuclear power. So
I'll goggle it.
Okay, yeah, you goggle it for us there, Jim. So where do you think we're going with power, Kate? This is interesting.
Well, it depends. I mean, there's so much different power that's happening. I think that solar roadways is definitely a plus. I think that we're seeing a lot of more people starting to come out and support free energy, and I think that there's going to be a lot of movements happening with real people thanks to crowdfunding and things like that. I've seen all kinds of things. There was a company called Raw Lemon that came out with this giant glass ball, like a sphere, that would essentially replace solar panels. And as we see, solar panels are typically known as being clunky, large, unsightly, and we're seeing a lot of innovations when it comes to solar technology and solar panels. And I even saw spray-on, like a spray paint, that is solar panels. It was amazing. So we're seeing so many new materials and so many different ways of capturing and creating electricity, and also finding new ways to create power, and it's definitely exciting. I think there's a lot of things. It's definitely a hard question to answer in one go, but it's there's definitely a lot to see, and especially with cars too. We saw Toyota recently released their patents for hydrogen cars, so that's also exciting.
Yes, and actually, when at C.E.S. we actually had a hydrogen cell on one of our live broadcasts with TPN TV. And they were actually, it was just a small unit using it to charge cell phones, but they were just showing that the technology is viable and working. So I thought that was pretty interesting too. So,
by the way, coal is, hang on.
Okay.
Coal is the largest source of energy worldwide for electricity.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Thanks for goggling that for us.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, Wikipedia. Yeah.
On the internet.
Yes. Yeah, on the internet. Yeah. The World Wide Web.
Yep.
The information superhighway, which is now heated in the winter for your comfort.
Yeah. Jim just said, which is now heated in the winter for your comfort. So.
Wow.
So talk about this paint. You know, you said Krylon or Rayon has a paint that's actually a solar. So does that mean that I can just paint anything and create a solar panel out of it?
Yeah, there's all different kinds. There's a spray-on solar paint that's pretty incredible. So what it is basically, it's scientists for a while have been dreaming of basically being able to paint solar cells so we could generate energy. And a team at the University of Sheffield developed spray-on cells that aim to be both cheap and capable of basically generating electricity. They said that the trick to doing it is by coating an object in perovskite, which is a calcium titanium oxide mineral. And it's supposed to be inexpensive, like organic solar cells, and it can absorb light nearly as well as silicone. So that's pretty exciting.
That's actually pretty, yeah. And does it come in a variety of colors then, too, or what's the thought there?
I'm sure that there will be different kinds you can be able to purchase. They actually said that this might actually be able to be applied to spraying on vehicles. So just imagine your car could be covered in this paint that is actually collecting energy. That would be pretty amazing.
Yes, that would be pretty cool.
So definitely, and there's a lot of different innovations that are happening now that when it comes to solar power, and I think also, that's just on Earth. When we start going out into space and collecting energy from there, and then there's recently some talk about China going to the moon and potentially seeking energy from the moon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's pretty interesting too.
Yes. Very
what about
cool.
cold fusion? Have they ever gotten back to that? Have they ever figured that out?
Well, we're talking about fusion recently, which is pretty exciting. I don't know. There's a lot of things to do still when it comes to fusion. Basically, I think that we're probably going to need some time before we get there.
Okay.
But Lockheed Martin was working on it, and they did make an announcement a couple of months ago that they had some breakthroughs.
Yeah, and I think you and I talked about that actually. I think that one of the things with Lockheed, of course, is that they're not going to make an announcement without knowing. I think they have more up their sleeve or know more than they're letting on right now. So I think that, and I think their plan is to actually have aircraft that use cold fusion to for piloting themselves. So.
Right, they're making this technology very compact. They're focusing on this compact version, and that's exactly what I think you're right about. I think that we're going to see this for government airplanes and things like that probably first, and then we'll eventually also transform the aviation industry for commercial use as well.
Right, exactly. So, all right. I think I think we're about up to our break here, so we'll just go to that right now. After the break, everybody, we'll continue our conversation with Katie Universe, or Miss Metaverse. It is Monday, Katie Aquino, and we'll also be talking about another website of the week, Up Council, so come on back.
Currently, it's 45.
Your news leader, weeknights at 6 and 10. Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And on the phone from blustery New York, Miss Metaverse Katie Aquino.
New York.
So,
awesome.
All right. So I wanted to, as everybody knows, I'm a little behind here. I've been in the studio for a month. By the way, this is starting our 4th year of the Tech Ranch today. So I'm not sure. Okay, last week was our 3rd anniversary. So are we? Yeah. Were we actually officially starting our 4th year?
Starting our 4th year.
All
yes.
right.
Yeah,
all right.
okay.
But yeah.
And we got one guy clapping.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Citizen Kane.
That's right. We do have a fan. So I love it. Anyway, we're talking a little bit about CES, of course, and I always like to throw in a website a week or so, and I've been a little behind on this. So one of the websites that I want to talk about today is one called Up Council, and that's UPCOUNSEL. And basically, it allows you to hire an attorney for your business. And what I love about this website is that you can post a job and get free proposals. So instead of you going and finding an attorney, you post the job that you need them to do, and you have attorneys competing for the job. I think that's just very, very clever.
But are they modest proposals?
Yeah, that's very true, yeah.
As long as I can find an attorney like Saul from Breaking Bad, then I'm all good.
Then you're all good. That's right. So, yeah, they have a lot of things on here, too, and it's basically for business. So if you need a patent, trademark, business information, agreements, employment, real estate, this is what they specialize in. But I think it's actually very, very clever. And, especially if you live in areas kind of like where we're at here, Jim, there's a few firms around.
Oh, yeah, there's some good firms in town.
But there are not a lot of them.
Yeah.
We actually probably we're one of those areas in the country that probably have an attorney shortage.
I have a friend who's filing for bankruptcy, and they had to go to Fargo to get the right attorney.
Sure. So, services like this would certainly allow, that opportunity to avail itself to more people. So, anyway, I just think it's a great website, upcouncil.com, very, very easy to use. And if you're looking for an attorney and having a hard time finding somebody, post a job up on there and get some proposals from across the country. I think you can find somebody that'll help you out. So, all right, Kate, Scanadu, are you familiar with that company?
Yes, it does sound pretty familiar.
Okay, so
Scanadu.
They were at CES, of course, and they were at the PepCon event, digital experience event, and I actually sat down with them, and they actually scanned me. So it was actually interesting. They have a couple devices, but the biggest one is you hold your thumb on the device, and then you put it up to your forehead. Not your thumb, Jim. The device.
The device.
But you put your thumb on the device in a particular way and then hold it up to your forehead. And there's another monitor on there, too. Yeah.
Okay.
And it actually took quite a few different readings. It knew if I was diabetic or not.
Oh.
Knew what my heart rate was. It knew all kinds of interesting things about me by just doing this little test. And they have all kinds of stuff in the works in the future. Of course, this device syncs to your smartphone and can talk to your doctor or whatever. So I'm very, very impressed. And it almost looks like a tricorder, Jim.
Almost.
Yeah. And I knew you'd be excited about that. Kate, I'm assuming you know what a tricorder is.
Of course.
Okay.
He's dead, Jim.
Not sure if you were a Star Trek fan or not. So.
Totally. Team Star Trek all the way.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, this is kind of what it reminds me of is the Scanadu device is I won't say it's mimicking a tricorder, but it has this. That I think is their goal, is to be able to scan a human body and give you results back. So very, very cool stuff.
Well, as a mom, I have to tell you how frustrated I am by all the temperature, all the thermometers, and all the technology that I've been using. It's just, honestly, nothing seems to work. So I would love to have Scanadu, because I want something that's simple, and I want to be able to just press a button and make it easier, because anyone who has ever been parents to a toddler knows how difficult it is to take temperatures and make sure that your baby's okay, and because it's hard keeping babies still. And I think this technology would be great for getting accurate results in the fastest time.
I never even thought about the parent market with Scanadu.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, Kate. That would be the...
Getting a kid to sit still for 30 seconds with a thermometer.
Right. This actually... I'm sure most children would think it would be fun to do.
Definitely, and it helps them. A lot of toddlers like having control, so by giving them the device and showing them how it works, they might actually like it.
Sure.
That's what I've seen. Whenever my daughter likes to be able to feel in control and take charge of something or be a part of it, she likes it. So I think that's great.
Yeah, I agree. That's a very interesting analogy there. So probably outside and all right, so we'll get into autonomous cars a little bit, and then we got to get into Li-Fi, which is a way that you can get the internet through light, or your network through light. But had the opportunity to ride in a couple of autonomous cars going through the streets of Las Vegas. In fact, the one by Delphi and Audi was totally autonomous. I mean, if you can imagine, you guys, literally just sitting in the car and saying, I'm tired of the car or I'm tired of driving. I'm just going to push a button and let it take me there. That's exactly what this was. Literally pushed the button. It was in autonomous mode, and we were driving through the streets of Las Vegas.
That's so cool. I actually, Travis was helping you shoot your films and create content out there, and he told me that you guys went in the Delphi and the Vallejo cars, and I started researching the Delphi car, and wow, it really looks amazing. I heard that the A7 model actually drove 550 miles from San Francisco to Las Vegas for CES.
That's correct. It actually left on January 1st, got there on January 2nd, and drove the whole route autonomously. Yeah, it's amazing.
Wow, it's really amazing.
And go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, what's great, too, is it seems like these cars don't have the technology visible. It's all pretty inconspicuous, it seems like.
It is, and that's probably the biggest thing that I've seen in the last 2 years in this development, outside of the fact that it's just getting better all the time, is the fact that you don't have a bunch of equipment mounted on the outside of the car now. So you don't really know, driving down the street, if the car is autonomous or not. You just think it's just a regular car. So, but pretty amazing, and for those that are interested in this technology, like Kate said, our cameraman Travis was with us and took footage while we were in there, and we'll be putting that up on the Tech Ranch pretty shortly, and I'm going to share that over to Kate as well, so you can put it up on your website as well, Kate.
Yes, my website is futuristmm.com, futuristmm.com, and we're running out of time a little bit. I really want to talk about the Vallejo car you went in.
Okay. So, of the two, the Vallejo car is probably the one that's closer to being production ready. So don't be surprised. And that was was that a Volkswagen, I think, that we were driving in? And that particular car, it's almost like adaptive cruise control. They did have us go through the streets of Las Vegas with it, but that was a predefined route that they had. This is more of a vehicle that's designed for interstate travel. So you get, to that 50, 60 mile an hour range, turn your cruise control on. Basically, this is adaptive cruise control, and it'll take over from that point. So and they figure in a couple of years that they'll be introducing this.
It really is amazing. I like this company a lot. When I started doing some research into it, I saw that Valeo actually works with more than 45 PhD students who is overseen by their R&D experts. And I think that's great that they're getting these students involved in creating this innovative technology.
Yep. Yeah. There's I can't tell. We'll probably dedicate a whole show in the near future to autonomous vehicles, including UAVs or drones, and just visit a lot about where this technology is going, because it's amazing what is happening, and it's literally going to change how we travel. It really is. I mean, I see the day where here going to Minneapolis is like a 6.5 to 7 hour drive. I actually see people in the future that will probably leave at night, sleep in the back of their vehicle, and arrive in the morning to their meeting.
Amazing.
And, I mean, I really do see that happening in the near future. So pretty amazing. So the last thing I want to talk about, Kate, is Li-Fi. Are you familiar with Li-Fi?
Wi-Fi?
L as in light. Li-Fi.
Li-Fi.
L-I-F-I.
L-I-F-I. No, I'm not actually.
Okay. So, but you're right on with when you say Wi-Fi. What happens is it uses the spectrum of light to transfer data. So, literally, and this is not an exaggeration, I'm about ready to say, literally the light bulb you have on in your room right now would be able to, that's what would be used to transmit data to your cell phone, to your computer, whatever. So instead of using Wi-Fi radio signals, it's using light, which is extremely fast.
Whoa.
And we were looking at examples of it. I don't even think that, we talked about the company that was showing this off at C.E.S. I don't think they understand what they have discovered. And literally, if you want to turn the internet off, you turn the light off. So if you want to, turn the internet off to the kids or whatever, you just turn the light off and they're done. They're done with it. So you have unbelievable security with that. You have a office complex maybe that you don't want to have anybody maybe mooching internet off the outside of the building or whatever, because it's a light spectrum and everything would be inside. So it's pretty cool stuff. So anyway, it is amazing. So we'll talk about that more in the future as well. Kate, a pleasure as always.
Yes, thank you, Marlo.
Stay out of the snow and the wind, and I hope that you stay safe out there. All right, everybody have a great week, and we'll talk to you next Monday.